Welcome to Season 4 of Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Casual Camping Podcast. It's part 3 of our micro adventure. I'm Tim.
And I'm Ade, who feels ever so much older these days.
Are the knees hurting you, Ade?
I tell you what, for 24 hours they were, and then snapped back out of it. So it always makes me forget about, actually, I've got dodgy knees. But, you know, I'm going to go refer myself and get it sorted, because I was like an old man coming down that flipping top bit, weren't I?
You were like an old man coming down the top bit. You were like an old man in calipers coming down the bottom bit.
I thought I had a good. I realised I had to walk in a certain way, but I thought it was a good sort of with me poles and stuff. God, I love poles.
You know that bit when Forrest Gump, as a kid, he's still got his calipers on, and he's walking funny. That was
the bit that. That was the bit I was imagining when you said calipers. I was like, please tell me that I then ran like... No, I didn't, did I? Didn't run like nothing.
No. You were fine when it flattened out further down, but your knee was really playing up. It's... Yeah, but, you know, we still bloody did it. We still actually did it in a really good time. And you know what? We had the best adventure. And that's really what this episode is about, is... You know, we've done a prepping episode. We've done an episode on us actually doing it. And this is a bit of reflection, really, of, you know, how did we feel it went? Would we do anything else? And allowing us to bask in the glow of what was an awesome idea by you. And we actually put it all into practice. And, you know, as everyone knows that's listening, we're idiots.
You'll get no argument from me
or anyone else.
Or anyone else. No. I mean, it was incredibly tough, but incredibly good fun. You know, we were taking part in something. I guess why everybody doing like marathons, half marathons, park runs and stuff. You take part, you're doing something. Yeah. The fact that it was a weeknight, you had a day off the following day. I had a late sort of bit of business to go work to, but not loads of business. But it was just, we'd worked till tea time and then driven 3 hours to Wales. You'd bloody driven. You're a machine, Tim. You're a machine.
Yeah, and I don't drive one of those fancy cars that does most things for itself. I drive a Jeep.
Yeah.
It's it was epic, I have to say. I am basking in the glow of sort of what do they call it, secondary benefit. So although it's really challenging when you're doing it after the fact, you feel that secondary buzz, and I've literally had that all week, and people at work kind of knew that I was going to do it, and even today someone's come up and gone, "You did what on Monday night? I saw you on Monday. You were at work." I'm going, "Yeah, I know."
but that's the thing, isn't it? If you'd have gone home, you'd have like had some dinner, you'd have sat on the sofa, you'd have probably got a bit sleepy and gone, "Oh, I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock." And certain, I mean, I'm saying it you, but that's exactly what I would be doing, you know.
Me too. Apart from, I'd have probably been in bed for 9.
and yet, you know, we've both done a full day's work. I can't tell you how much lifting and heavy stuff that I had moved on that Monday, and still thought that actually we're doing this. We'd say, and it was just like, hey, you get the energy from somewhere, don't you?
That was the weird thing, wasn't it? Because it was, you know, because it's so different. What we did was so different from our day jobs, using a different set of muscles or whatever else, but it was just mentally so different from what we'd done. There was a whole load of energy that was still there that we hadn't tapped into. And what's interesting is that's probably there every night. But like you say, you
Yeah,
come home and you just kind of get that routine, whereas you could
yeah,
actually get a new routine and do something different on an evening, and
yeah.
you would have the energy for it. That's what
I
it's
think
taught me.
Yeah, I think that is the thing. Actually, if you are going and doing something, change your routine. We're not going to do that every day, but it does make you go, "Hey!" And the excitement of it carried us through.
Yeah,
We didn't summit until 2 o'clock.
I
You
know.
know.
That's the longest I've gone. Sorry, sorry.
So I've heard.
She's not listening. She's not listening, but she's talking, obviously.
Oh my God.
Oh,
You're going to be in so much trouble if she listens to this one.
I know. We are actually driving to Cornwall in a couple of days' time, and I did say, I haven't listened to the last week's episode yet of us going up, and I wanted to listen to it, so we might end up listening to these back to back. I must go, oh, you don't need to listen to the next one. No, it's fine.
No. I think like Mrs. Sweep, she every now and again just sort of clocks in on it. Her sister does that. She was like, every now and again, like 5 to 6 weeks and stuff. Lily, do you listen? She was like, no, not really.
They've
She
learned.
said, I get sort of like the secondary smoking kind of thing. She said, I can hear them giggling away in another room. Like, she said it's enough. It sounded like it was funny.
Oh, funny.
Oh,
That is funny.
yeah.
Oh God. No. So what do you think? What do you think works really well? Do you think you took the right stuff, the right equipment? What worked well for you?
Well, I mean, what worked incredibly well for me is I took Tim. And he carried an extraordinary amount of stuff on his back. I mean, I just turned up with a pan, some sausages, 2 liters of water, a sleeping bag that I didn't bloody use, and a mat. So yeah, if you're doing this, take a Tim is my advice. Because my pack was half the size of yours. I was like, yeah, you must have something else in there other than the tent. You took all of the tent. I know you did.
Oh God, yeah. I am available to be rented out.
Tuppence.
Yeah.
Sherpa Tim. He ain't taking no washing machine on his back.
No, there was not a washing machine. I didn't have a lot more than you. I had the tent, but the tent wasn't heavy. It's not a heavy tent, isn't the Nexus 2. It's and I had a little tiny sleeping bag that again I didn't use, but it didn't weigh a lot. I had waterproofs, but I left the trousers. I kept the jacket, left the waterproof trousers. I had a pan. I had a bigger pan than you had, so I suppose that was a bit of weight, but not a lot. I had the
Yeah,
stove.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the gas, so we did sort of share that. So yeah, I think it all went incredibly well, and I felt very much like I was fast and light. I had a four-season sleeping bag because I didn't know what it was going to be like at the top, but it's such a heat wave here in the UK that it was warm going up. We had to drink. We probably should have had more than 2 liters of water. Um,
Yeah,
on
I
the
did
way down,
notice.
I ran out. So
I didn't, which is always a sign that I should have been drinking more. So actually when I got home, there was probably about 300 mils left um in my 2 liter bladder.
yeah,
So I didn't drink enough is probably what. But we used your water to make the coffees on the top.
Yeah, yeah.
So we so swings and roundabouts, I suppose. We probably ended up drinking the same
Yeah,
amount of water, but yeah,
yeah, and I think certainly, I think one good company going up, we were quite evenly matched.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
been with people that go up like a bloody gazelle, and I was like, and every time I get to them after they've rested, they then sprint off because they've had their rest, and I'm like, oh, do I carry on or do I just sit
yeah.
here and
I
get
hate
further and
that.
further back?
I hate that.
Um, so yeah, I would say there's a little bit of a lesson. Make sure that you're in sync with whoever's going up, and that they might need to you know compensate it for whoever's the weaker one to just have a little bit of an extra rest and go on. You
The
were
mi-
saying to me at one stage that, oh, you're fitter than me and stuff, and then when we got towards the top, you were better than me on the steeper bit. So that was, I think we were quite evenly matched.
I think we were evenly matched, and that's it's important to remind whoever you're doing something like this with that it's not a race. The thing itself is the challenge. You don't need an extra added challenge of let's do it really quick. It's all right to
Yes.
actually enjoy the journey, and we did stop a lot of times to record videos, to record some audio. We didn't want to wait too long doing that because we did want to get up there with enough time to try and have some sleep. But
Yeah.
it wasn't a race, was it? We just took it steady and
Uh, yeah, and considering we got there when it was dark, I mean, I think when we were walking down the first street, there was still a bit of light,
mm,
but it was starting to come in. And we got a good third, maybe half of the way up without actually using our lights.
yeah, we did really really well with that because the moon, although it was a half moon, it was so bright. It was casting moon shadows, which was amazing. But
Yeah,
then
lovely.
once that started to dip down to the horizon, that was the point that really there was no light then, and we had to put the head torches on. But that lead lenser that I was wearing was just blooming epic. It was like some blooming arc light, searchlight from World War Two. It's I literally I
I
could have picked out bombers and shot them out the sky with that thing.
Well, the guys at the top were going, "Were you that guy with the light on your head?"
I know.
And you
I
went,
felt so
"Oh
cool.
yeah."
I felt so cool when they said that. That's a real powerful light you've got on there. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the lead lenser. I said, it's amazing. It's
Yeah, oh, yeah,
auto-focusing.
you did it.
I was a proper head torch bore for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have a lead lenser. Guess what Adrian forgot?
Yeah.
It, it was on my kitchen countertop, and I know what
Oh,
I'd done. I saw something else and went, "Oh!" But I put my torch down to pick that up, and then just yeah.
it
So
happens,
thank
doesn't it? The amount of trips I've been on and particularly electrical stuff, I come back and they're still plugged in the kitchen, charging up from where I've been charging them from the night before I
yeah.
went. It happens all the time. Thankfully, we'd both been quite sensible actually and done a bit of redundancy. So I had an extra torch on me. I had the Olight Perrin 2, and
Yeah.
you brought another head torch. So we weren't actually, you know, because when it got really dark, you did really need a head torch to keep going.
It
So it was
really
good.
did. But I had a very basic one, and I used the lowest power, which just gave enough. But to be honest, I think I kind of was on your coattails with the lead lenser. It lit the way for both of us, to be honest.
I was purposefully
Absolutely.
doing that for a lot of the way because we were literally side by side for most of it, and I was lighting forwards to both of us because it was really powerful. I did have it on the maximum settings, and that gave us about a couple of hours of it all singing, all dancing. And then when we were on the top, it just kind of went, yeah, I'm starting to drain a little bit, and it does this automatic thing where it doesn't, you don't lose it. It just dials itself down to go, you still need some light, so I'm just going to dial down some of these settings. and which was great, and still
I mean,
easily enough
it
light to
really
put the
was.
tent up.
And yet, if you'd have put that on the lower setting, which would have still been an incredible light,
Yeah.
because there's, I think, 3 or 4 settings there too, isn't there?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I felt glad that you had yours. I'd put mine on this very other one, and I did have something that I'd got from the Barter Barn, the Olight little thing, but I didn't need to use that. Nothing
Yeah.
ran out.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't need to use the Olight Perrin that I had clipped onto my bag straps. The bag straps did, that big North Face. It is a great bag, but having the pacemaker, I was warned when I had it in. I had a conversation with them, and they did say I talked about being outdoorsy and carrying loads of stuff, and they did say that's really not advised. We don't really want you doing that. And this is the second time I've done that with a big bag. In
yeah.
Scotland, I had more stuff in it, and it was actually really uncomfortable because the strap is pressing massively right where it shouldn't, and that was quite uncomfortable. I have to say, by the time I'd got back to the car. It was quite uncomfortable again, although I'd gone much further. I'd done really well. I think I need to come up with, if I'm going to do this again, I need to come up with some kind of padding, some kind of extra pad to go underneath that, because it's been a bit sore for the rest of the week, to be honest.
Yeah.
I need to be a bit careful
Oh,
with that. A day pack's
I
all
do.
right, but something a bit heavier with a load of stuff in it is it's just going to be a bit of a problem, I think, for the future.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, well, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I did offer to take your pack and you could have had mine, but
Yeah.
you know.
I'm not. I honestly, I'm not. I'm not saying it for that reason. It's learning. So
Yeah.
this is we're reflecting on what worked well and what we might change. I know if I'm not going to say I'm not going to do these things again, because they're too bloody great to do, and I'm not going to stop doing them. It's part of who we are. But I'm going to adapt my equipment so that I can still do it, because it was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant from start to
It
finish.
it was amazing. I think the other thing that is an absolute godsend, uh, polls.
Yes.
And I don't know whether everybody uses poles, nobody uses them. I always remember my mates who were banging to climbing. One's in the army, Marza, and him and mate Richie were out climbing somewhere, and somebody was like, "Oh, you've got poles." And he was like, "Yeah, no, they're supposed to be good." He was like, "We've never seen anybody as young as you wearing using them,"
Yeah, yeah,
and they got like really like, "Oh, okay, so just for old people." Like, and I know for like Scandinavia and a lot of Norwegian places, and those swear by them, and lots of other places. But we saw a talk, didn't we? And I think from Harrier Poles, and they
yeah.
were saying
Well
how
remembered.
much energy that you can disperse from your legs by using poles. And to be honest, the poles were an absolute
Yeah.
godsend, not only going up, but coming down as well. Certainly, if you've got knees that hurt a little bit and stuff, taking some of that pressure off by getting them out there in front of you. And yeah, it just
I
brilliant.
noticed, I don't know if you clocked, so when we were coming down, there's the start of the wave of people going up. And we're coming down in the morning. We left the summit about 5:30 and bumped it, there was a lot of people coming up, and a lot of younger people. There weren't a lot of sort of people even our age, and most of them had poles. There were an awful lot of them that were using
Yeah,
poles, and it isn't that thing anymore, like you say, of oh, it's poles for older people who've got bad joints. Um, it people have realised it's actually a really economical way to use your energy and to use your
yeah,
body, and it was great. I think we'd have really struggled to get up, to be honest, in the just less than 3 hours that we did. If we hadn't had poles, it could have been a lot longer.
yeah. And I mean, we did. What was the route that we did? Lamberis.
We did the Lamberis, so we did the easiest, the allegedly easy. There are no easy paths up this. You're still climbing a mountain, but we did allegedly the easiest route.
Yeah. And the bottom 2/3 are relatively easy, and I think anybody with any kind of skill and levels of fitness could do those quite easily.
Yeah.
It's like a walk. It then, for that last bit to go up to the summit, that last third was climbing a lot of the way. And at points we were only doing sort of 20 meters, or we were spotting a rock and going, let's go to that. And I could feel my legs and my butt cheeks kind of clamping up, kind of like, oh, stop, have a rest. And it's surprising how quickly you then go, right, let's go again.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm talking like I've done Everest. I've done Snowdon before. I've camped at the top of Snowdon before, but it still surprised me. And the thing is that I worked it out. So I did the pig track the last time, and camped at the top and things like that. But I think I was 35.
Gosh.
It was like 20 years ago, you know?
Wow. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. So that one-man tent I've got is over 20 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll see if I've got some pictures of, not the camping, but me on a little precipice, kind of looking over a precipice of me stood on a rock kind of thing. So
That's cool.
we'll put it on the socials this week.
That's cool.
Little young baby Ade.
Oh. No, that's cool. That is cool. No, we did a cracking job. I don't think equipment wise would leave anything out. You know, we talked in the car, didn't we, coming back, about whether or not you should or shouldn't take a sleeping bag, even if it's warm. And it does just kind of feel wrong, doesn't it, to not take something like that. So I think it's the right decision to take it. Even though you're probably carrying some weight that you might not need, but I wouldn't have wanted to leave it out.
No, which is why I was quite happy with taking the Force 10 4-season that I had. It was the only one that I'd got. I didn't want to take the Snow Peak Down one. I thought that would be heavy and too much. So it's a mixture of synthetic and down is the Force. It has baffles on certain bits. But I really liked the fact that it was there. If I'd have got into trouble with these knees, I'd have been okay if you'd have needed to go get help. Whereas, you know, you never know what the summit is like. And it was such a calm evening all the way up. And when we got to the summit, it was breezy, but it wasn't windy, was it? And then when we set the tent up, it was windy.
Yeah. It was all right when we got there, and we went right up to the trig point, the point right on top, and said hello to those guys who were just sitting there in sleeping bags, and then we climbed down those few steps to the main sort of summit plateau, and suddenly at that point it just went windy as anything. It was like, okay. Now we've got to.
Well, we found a very nice flat bit, and just went with that. And I think we should have just looked around a little bit more, because there was a wall further down near where the cafe is, and we could have. There was a flat bit down there, and if we'd have camped there, we wouldn't have been woken up by the wind for what seemed like most of the 2 hours that we were sleeping.
Yeah. That's probably one change we would have made, is maybe scouted around a bit more. But we were, at that point, we were really, really tired. You know,
we were done in.
I'd been up for 20 hours at that point, worked a 10-hour day, driven for 3 hours, climbed a hill for 3 hours. You know, it's we were actually surprisingly very, very tired when we got to the top, and the elation
it came in really quickly, didn't it?
the
It was just
elation of
like,
getting there
oof,
burnt out really fast. And it was just like,
so
we need to
fast.
get this
Yeah.
tent up. And I'm so glad I practiced with it a couple of times in the garden, because it just meant I knew how to put this tent up. You know, even in wind, I could put this tent up and we could get it reasonably firm, as pegged out as well as we could on rocky ground, and we could just climb in
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Nexus, because it was lent to us by Van Gogh. So thank you very much, Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Check out their range of tents, because they do something for the very extreme to the very big family.
Yeah.
Uh, they're a UK based firm, and they fix their stuff. They've got a really good. We're going to go up and see them soon and
Mm.
hand the tents back. Boo! We
Boo,
hate how
rubbish.
we hate giving kit back, but we will give kit back.
Yeah,
Um,
these are loan pieces, so we're very very grateful for that. But their Force 10 range is kind of their extreme stuff, isn't it? It's their mountaineering stuff, and this is
yes,
so this is the Force 10 Nexus 2, which had a hell of a lot of space in it inside, didn't it?
really did. Yeah, really, really did. I was really surprised that. So I was on my mat, which is just a 50 centimeter wide mat. It's not very thick. It's about 1 or 2 inches. I didn't get any cold from the ground, which was
Yeah.
great. But I remember kind of thinking, oh, there won't be much space in here. Um, so I can't turn over, or I can't, I'm a side sleeper normally and stuff. And I thought, oh, the last thing you want me doing is spooning you. Um,
I nearly
well,
turned
there's
over at
probably
one
there's
point, and I thought the same thing. I thought, no, no, I'll just turn back the other way.
back to back. But I was surprised at how far away you were. You know, I'm not taking it so in loads, but there was enough room to move about and
Yeah.
maneuver myself without bumping into you. So brilliant. And there was a lot of head height there.
Mm,
You know, we were in and out of that in 2.5 hours. It
yeah.
had got flappy and windy, and you know, I wish we'd been able to peg it out a little bit better, because it was noisy by then.
Yeah, and
Um,
and putting it out in the garden and pegging it out properly, it does not flap in the slightest. So that
yeah,
the
you know,
flappiness was totally the fact that being on such rocky ground meant we couldn't quite get the anchor points where they really needed to be. So it was a little bit flappy, but you know, we were
but
camping
it
in a
was
place that
protection
no
for
one
us.
totally, and
Yeah,
that's really why I would normally, if I'm going into the high country like that, I will normally take an emergency shelter and some emergency stuff. And I didn't bring the emergency shelter because I thought, well, we've already got a shelter. You know, I didn't bring
yeah,
my orange 2-man bivvy,
yeah,
which would have been even more weight on my back. I thought, well, we've got the Nexus 2, which is amazing. So if one of us did get an injury wherever we were on the hill, we could have just put that up, put one of us in it, and gone and got help, or waited for help to come. So
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it is an amazing emergency shelter as well. So it was a cracking piece of kit.
Yeah, no, I think that's and it was so light. You know, the fabric on it, it's a good looking tent as well. You know, I'm
Mm.
all about how things look, and that was a blooming good thing. That was the first time I'd seen it when you pitched it. So glad you pitched it, because I wouldn't have known. I'd be like, yeah, just roll me in and I'll stop it blowing away. The guys that were up on the point right at the summit, they were just sleeping in sleeping bags
Mm.
on the floor around that point. And I'm sure that they were fine. They said that they might have got a bit of sleep, but not very much. We saw people following us up. They'd clocked your torch and kept on
Mm.
looking about where we were. So for ages, they were the only ones up there. And then in the morning, when we got out of our tent, there was about 20 people.
Yeah, yeah. It's mad, wasn't it? Really, it'd gone from the three of those guys and us two, and there was about 20 people there who were all coming up for the sunrise, which you know, we got a cloud inversion, which is amazing. My first cloud inversion, and we made we had the Jetboil Mighty Mo, and the Jetboil skillet, and we made sausages. We fried off some sausages, some veggie sausages, and made sausage sandwiches. We made some fresh coffee, and we just sat there then, really beautiful. We just sat there and watched the sun come up through the
Yeah.
clouds, and it was just, some
It was
amazing
lovely.
images. Amazing.
Yeah. I think unzipping the tent and peeking out and seeing that there was some clouds just scooping over the path that we'd walked over as they
Yeah,
just go. I was like, oh my God, you forget that you're at the top of a mountain. And
yeah.
then, yeah, and then we went and literally just cooked sausages. I think we were the envy of everybody there, really.
Absolutely, we were the envy because there were people who were
Like,
just making it up there, and they were like literally just kind of a bit shattered. And where they're
yeah.
going, morning, just making
Morning.
sausages.
Yeah. Honestly, I was like, should we go do sausages? I said it rather loudly, I think. Should we just go do some sausage sandwiches and have some coffee? I was like, yeah, F you people, F you.
Oh God, no! It's that was really great. The equipment works really great for that, and it's just brilliant from start to finish. I wouldn't change it. There's little tweaks I'd make with like the pack and things like that, but I honestly don't think I'd change anything of it. I thought I'd be saying, oh, I wasn't fit enough and everything, and yeah, we can all always be fitter. But actually, I'm glad that we're at the same fitness level, so that it wasn't obvious that one of us was fitter than the other, and because you always then worry, am I holding somebody back?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
it
I've
was
done
just
that
a
before.
great no stress adventure. We
Mm.
we we just had a really nice time and just chatted the whole way up. And
Yeah. I think the biggest stress was paying for the parking. And
oh
where are
my
we parking?
God, was it ever? Was it ever? I mean, we didn't do
Uh,
the other car park because it was £35. So we went to Lamberis to the car park, and we did drive around the housing estate, but to be honest, there were lots of signs up saying residents only, and I just thought if I park there, you're just going to get your tire punctured or something like that. So you
hey.
don't want to annoy the locals. That's the thing. You don't want to annoy them.
Yeah, and nobody's saying anybody in in that bit would do that, but so we paid for parking, and but that was 25 quid, and once we settled on the fact that what, let's just pay it and go,
Yeah.
and that then it was fine. The journey
Yeah, and
continued.
actually, between you paying for that and you buying the McDonald's on the way for tea, and me covering the petrol, it kind of balanced itself out anyway. So it was,
Yeah,
because we'd driven so far, it was going to cost a load of fuel anyway to get
yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it kind of
Certainly.
all works out in the end until it all comes clean in wash.
It does. So yeah, for me, I think, that's definitely a thing. I think that's good that you said it isn't a race.
Mm,
You're not trying to beat somebody else up there. You are going together. We saw a shooting star. We
yeah,
saw the stars come out. We could still see the outlines of the other mountains around us. And just trying to go, oh, where's that route? You could see the path going up, and I think that's the good bit about Lamberis is you're not going to go wrong on that
yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
You're really not.
Torches or no, I think that last third you really need a torch, but we could have probably done the rest of it. You'd trip a little bit when it got really dark, but if there's a good moon and it's clear and whatever, I think you get a lot of the way up there without any torches
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
needed to.
We
Uh, and
we did.
the poles were brilliant. For me, it surprised me how little I really needed to take.
Yeah,
That mine was a 25-litre pack. It was full to brimming. I should have had a bladder, but I don't have one. I find they go a bit funny and water tastes, whatever. So I just took some water bottles in the side pockets of them. Um, and it was enough. And okay, I didn't use my sleeping bag. I could have done with a smaller sleeping bag, I think. But it's everything fitted in that, and I think that's the biggest surprise to me, as well as the fact that I made it up and down, and we did it in a reasonable time. But it was just excellent. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Yeah, me too. Me
I'm
too.
so glad I did it with you as well.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad we did it together. Two brothers, nobody else along. Not that, we don't want other people with us, but actually sometimes it's just nice to go and do stuff just for you and I. And it's been a tough old year, so it's been nice to go and do something like that and just it'd be a real triumph and a real positive thing. And it was really
Yeah.
cool. It was really cool.
Yeah. The only bit I didn't like was the coming down because my knee was primarily one knee more than
Yeah,
the other, but that top third was quite agony.
yeah,
And then once I got beyond that, then I found a good sort of cadence in my walking, and the poles helped and stuff. And I enjoyed it a little bit more. I was shot by the end.
yeah,
Really, really shot. And I got to the path, so we were onto road, and I think the last 400 meters, you went and got the car and came back
yeah,
for me,
yeah. Found somewhere
because
for you
I
to
was done.
sit.
But I think that was more water and energy,
Yeah,
as well as
yeah,
knees and
yeah.
whatever.
And I
I
think
think
you'd
it
have
was.
made it, but I said you're going to sit there, and I'm going to go get the car, and I just went down the road back to the car park, and then came back up, and you jumped in, and we disappeared on our trip home, which took another three
And
hours.
yeah, but what time were you home?
I can't remember. Can't
Well,
remember.
I got home at 12:30, so I think we must have got to yours at 11:30.
Wow. Yeah, because you didn't come in. You just got straight in your
So,
yours and just
so that's
left.
a 12-hour adventure, Tim.
Wow.
Well, actually, no. Okay, so we set off at 7 from yours, so
Yeah. Still pretty, I have to say, it's pretty epic. It's you know,
16-hour adventure. 16
yeah,
hour adventure. That's not bad, is it?
that's not bad at all. We should be proper proud of that. I think that's amazing. Probably a good time to slide into that minute mindfulness.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
Ah, great. And that's there to inspire you if you're listening to this to just go and have your own mini adventure. And I know this one wasn't quite so mini as we'd originally planned. You talked about it about being going to your nearest hill or your highest hill in your area. We went a bit further. You don't have to go a bit further. Our highest hill around here are the Malverns, and we have already said, well, we're going to do this again, but we're going to go to the Malverns, and we're gonna try and do something over that way. But
We go up onto British camp. Maybe we'll take a little bit of fire and, no, we
yeah.
won't. I got flashbacks to your journey with the police turning up and stuff.
Oh,
But
God.
there's a little dip at British camp and stuff. Yeah, just absolutely amazing. I'm so pleased. You can do it too. Like always, you will see pictures that reflect what we're talking about. So like, share, follow along. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we might have a longer video of this going up on YouTube later this week. So thanks for listening, guys. And yeah, I've been Ade.
And I've been Tim. Thanks a lot. We'll speak to you next week.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.